Hi, I'm Jake.
And I'm Sasha. And today we're in Ukraine, in Lviv, in Stryiskyi Park.
As you saw earlier, we were at a flea market and Sasha picked out two 35mm point-and-shoot cameras.
So the cameras I picked were Praktica MD M40 Autoflash, and for Jake I picked Minolta Riva Zoom 70.
We each have a roll of Kodak Gold 200, so we'll pair a cheap film camera and we'll pair a cheap film stock and see what kind of results we can get.
Let's do this.
Okay, we just finished up at the park. We shot half a roll each on our cameras, and now we're gonna leave and go walk around the streets and see what kind of shots we can get.
So now we're back at home.
And we're gonna take a look at the photos that you just saw in the video. So I guess we'll start with my shots from the park. This one in particular, I had focusing issues. The camera didn't really nail focus as often as I would have liked it. I really like this one. For some reason, I'm obsessed with trees. I don't know why, I just think they look cool. Like, especially from down looking up. I don't know why. This one?
That's boring. That's just a bush.
It's just this is my favorite shot from the day, probably.
Yeah.
I didn't even edit it much. I didn't really crop anything. I just liked exactly how it turned out, the framing and how I did it and everything. I actually quite like this one for some reason. I like that it's framed in these two trees and they're both going sort of outwards. And then you have this in the middle. I think it looks quite cool.
I think like all the photos from the park, the one that you took, all of them have actually really good composition. Maybe some of them are like, has extra flash or like out of focus, but in general the composition is really cool. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about my obsession because I'm obsessed with taking photos in forests. And I really like this photo, but the camera was flashing 24/7. This one, probably you can see it's a bit out of focus.
I think this one looks quite good.
I don't know, it kind of bothers me that the guy's in the middle and he's like floating about this thing.
If you zoom in, if I can, it looks like he's floating above the hammock.
I just like this one. I don't know why, I just like the color of this.
What do you think about this one?
I don't like this one, you like this for some reason. I think it's boring.
I don't know, windows are always cool. It always adds like a frame within the frame to look through.
I think it's just a generic okay photo because probably everything you would take a photo of inside this botanical garden will look good. This one I like because I like that there is like a river in the middle and a little tiny waterfall.
Yeah, and
I like the colors and it looks really abandoned and wild, how I usually like it because I hate when people are like somewhere in the background. I just like the tree in the front and again this wildness in the back. I kind of hate this one.
I think it looks great.
Well, first, I can see people in the background. That's the thing I hate. Second, it's such a Ukrainian ship to put in the middle of the river, or like, what was it, like a lake?
These are the photos from when we left the park and we went to the street.
Everything will look good with wires and the building, so
Yeah, it's
generic.
Classic.
But I guess the composition is kind of cool with two buildings, or framing, I would say. This is
our favorite probably of
Yeah,
photos. I think this is the
favorite.
best one that anyone took on the day.
I wasn't expecting actually a lot from this photo because again the flash was on. Also, I think it's like my second favorite photo that I took. I still think it would be cool if it was without the spire. I think it's just the white noise here. Again, good photo when you look just up in the sky. There is buildings, wires, signs, even better. So
I was really excited for this photo when I took it. I thought this was going to be my best one. I don't think it is the best one actually that I took.
I think it's the coolest one.
This one, I thought it would be more interesting when I took it, but this one, that's the same guy with the baby as in the last photos you can see. So we just followed him. Go to any of these pretty Austro-Hungarian built cities, look up, point it at a building, take a photo, it's gonna look good. And this little area had a lot of like corners and a lot of nice lines that you could frame and follow. So, what do you think about your Praktica MD40 Autoflash? Stupid long name.
Well, I think it's actually a good camera because you can't go wrong. You only have one button and you just click on it. I hated the fact that the flash was on all the time. So I guess it's just maybe the way how this camera was built, or maybe it's just a bit fucked. But in general, it was a really good camera. I really liked it and I think I'm gonna use it a lot because the lens was really good.
The lens quality is actually pretty good for a point and shoot, and I think that did show in Sasha's photos when you see them.
I think it's a nice camera for a beginner too. Like you don't have to like think twice before taking a photo because you just have one button, and it screams that it's German. Like it's the way how it like designed, and but yeah, it's a good camera. I really enjoy taking photos in it.
So my also long name, Minolta Riva Zoom 70. It's got a 35 to 70mm zoom.
And a bonus part for your battery.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna get this. Okay, I got it. You open it, you turn it on, you take a photo, done. I did find that the viewfinder was a bit small, but that's just a problem that most of these cheap point shoots have, you know. You get what you pay for. I wouldn't say I'm impressed. I wouldn't say it's like it blew me away.
I think the good thing about your camera is that you had this flash button.
Because I don't really like using flash, especially where we were, where it was, you know, it's so bright out.
Yeah, I think maybe like in general about like the quality, this one is better thanks to the lens, I guess. But in terms of like how comfortable it is to use this or this camera, this one is much better because at least you can turn off the flash, but this one is just one button and done.
Alright guys, well, we hope you enjoyed our little experiment. See you next time.